Hey to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, ChiroThin, Chiro Moguls, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, The Goodman Factor, Chiropractic Rocks, Winner's Edge, Chiro Tax Pro, and Digital Hustle. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 199 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I am your co-host, Luke Millette, and here's your host, Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. José Salgado, and if you want to know more about having fun in the chiropractic profession, stay tuned. All right, so we are live, and we have Dr. José Salgado here on the Chiro Hustle podcast. This is episode 199, and like we were discussing off camera, this is the eve of chiropractic's birthday, and tomorrow chiropractic is 125 years young. How do you feel about that, Doc?
Oh my God, I'm having such an amazing time. The whole week we've been celebrating, just doing lives, just connecting to people. We have a cake today. We're giving just little treats to our patients, practice members. It's been amazing. I mean, I'm having more fun than ever.
So tell our audience, it's been 28 years since you took the opportunity to become a chiropractor. Maybe share with them what your chiropractic story is and what really influenced you to jump into the chiropractic profession.
You know, I went to college in Wisconsin, and while I was going to Wisconsin to college, I met this guy while doing summer classes in Puerto Rico. His name is Jose, so same name as me, and we were kind of going both through like the medical model. We wanted to be medical doctors, and we were talking about it. We were doing a biology major and the whole thing. So one time he just came, he was going to University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. I was going to a smaller school in Waukesha, Wisconsin called Carroll College. Today it's called Carroll University. And he told me, I saw a little bulletin board at the time, we didn't have iPads, none of this stuff. So they have like a postcard. It says Northwestern College of Chiropractic. And he brought it to me. He said, I'm going to just send this. It's a prepaid postage postcard, and let's see what happens. So he got all the papers back, and he got so pumped up. He didn't have any idea what was he getting into. So he went. That was in 87. I graduated that year, and I took off that year. I didn't do anything else. So basically, he went to chiropractic school, and within the Christmas break, he came down to PR. And he told me, you got to be a chiropractor. And I said, you're nuts, brother. I'm not going to be a chiropractor. I said, yes, you are. I said, okay, send me the papers, and I'll let you know. So I don't know what happened. It was so weird because he called Northwestern on the break, and they were open. I don't know who was there, but somebody happened to be in the admission office, and then sent me the papers like in a week and a half. I was like, wow. So I took all the papers and started just filling them up. And, I sent them up. I sent them to them. Like in 3 weeks, I got a letter. You are accepted, condition to all what you said is true through the transcripts. And I was like, excuse me? That easy? No, that can't be. I mean, too good to be true. That there's a good saying that people say in the States. So I went like, okay, might as well. Let me just get the transcript done. Before transcript are not as easy as we do it right now online. So it took a little bit. And like 3 months after the fact, I received a letter, you're officially accepted. I'm like, wow. So let's do it. Going from Wisconsin to Minnesota, a little bit of a difference. In my mind, a big difference in people's, way of seeing things. It's amazing how from one state, either from one town to another, even though from a state to another state. And I loved Minnesota. Oh, people were so nice. I mean, a different kind of Not that I didn't like Wisconsin, I loved it too, but two different people seeing different things. I was in a smaller town, which is really small, which is Waukesha, and then I went to a big city, which is the Twin Cities, and totally a different vibration. So I got there and I started going to chiropractic, and I got a little bit frustrated because the name of my school is Northwestern College of Chiropractic. And I changed it to Northwestern College of Medipractic because I was learning more medicine than chiropractic. So for some reason, people start just talking about these little books, the green books. And this little book, and I have, a little bit bigger one, the subluxation specific, the adjustment specific. And what I was reading here, and what I was learning there was two different things. So I got so frustrated that I went to Jose and I said, Jose, I'm quitting. And he's like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. And he went, no, you're not. Yes, I am. And within that process, he went to a seminar on a weekend. When you're a student, you take as many seminars as you can. I mean, your really hands are really full. So he went to this seminar and he came back shaking and he couldn't even speak. I was like, what the hell happened to you? And he's like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm not an early riser. I'm a very late person. You can see me at 3 o'clock in the morning just working. That's my thing. That's the way I live life. I do things at night. That's the way I get really promoted. So I got up that morning at 6 o'clock of the next day, and I called him up because he was going to go at 9 o'clock to the other part of the seminar. He said, what happened to you? He said, I went to this seminar, and they barely touch you. You know that you and I have no background in chiropractic. So the only thing we know is that you take bones and you start just cracking them. That's our perception of chiropractic. And now a guy just came and did very gentle contact. And I started scratching my head. I said, what is that? And he said, I don't know, Jose, but you saw me shaking. I started just moving on the table, breathing really deeply. I started feeling really connected to my body. It was a different, experience. And I said, I want that. I want that. I mean, I'm so bored in this school of what I'm getting, which I could go to a medical school and get that. I need to learn chiropractic. Would you allow me can you practice with me? He said, no. We're going to get together next week. Are you willing to be one of our guinea pigs? And I said, of course. So I went there and I got really, I was like, I didn't know what I was getting into. So I was in this kind of, the houses in Puerto Rico, the roof is flat. You in the States, your roofs tend to be this way of the houses. So I came to that house. I remember it was white everywhere. And the family room was square. Was rectangular. So it was kind of a long room. And it had 3 chiropractic tables. And it was like 5 people turn around each table and with one person facing down in each table. And what I saw, this is what I'm seeing. Remember, I have no idea what I'm getting into. It's like I'm seeing people getting poked in their butts. And I couldn't get it. I was like, oh, Jose, don't tell me you got me here into this. I'm going home. And he's like, no, you're staying. And he said, this is what I was telling you. This is different. I'm like, I know, but I can poke my butt myself. I don't have to, nobody have to do that for me. And he's like, I know, Jose, I know how you are. You're always in the defensive mode. Just relax and be there. So my turn I had my turn and then I face down and they start poking my butt. Oh my God, I was so angry and so pissed. I was ready to leave that room. And out of a sudden, this woman, which I remember her name up to this day. I'm not good at names. You can tell me your name is Jim and tomorrow I'm going, what's his name again? And her name is Lynn Coriel. I never forgot that name. She's kind of a white girl with really long face. Her hair is kind of like blonde up to here. And she came to me and said, Jose, I'll be working with you. I'm like, okay. And she came and did a very gentle contact, and I'm gonna just show it here. There's a spine, and there's your coccyx. Okay? Below your coccyx is your anus. I'm not talking Uranus. I'm talking my anus. Okay? Just being nice about this. So basically, she went and did a contact in my coccyx that felt that she was doing a contact in my anus because it's so close. But she was really nice and gentle, very, very professional. And then she went and did a contact. This is the skull, the part of the back of the skull, and this is called the occiput. She did a contact on the occiput of the right side. I remember this side. And then she went into the middle of my back, the thoracic area, and did another contact, very gentle. Not as hard as you can just put your finger and just raise your eyelid. That hard. And out of the sudden, I start breathing. Oh my God, I couldn't stop breathing. I started moving very gently. I felt like my spine started just like undulate, like maybe like wave motion, like I was in the ocean. I started feeling so light. I was like, what the hell is this? I like this. And basically when that all happened, I went into, my brain had a little bit of a short circuit because I tend to be a very control freak person until that moment. And now my body's telling me to do different things that I wasn't allowed to happen. And I had that moment, and I remember Lynn Coriel came to me and said, Jose, please let it go, let go, have fun. And I'm like, okay. So basically I went into it, and when I got up there, I can tell you, Jim, my life changed completely. 180 degrees completely. I used to be a person who had a knife in my mouth, a gun in here, and a machine gun in the other hand. I was always on the defensive mode. And totally, I felt like all my shoulders dropped. I felt like I had like 800 tons of, all crap of my life in my back, and that was gone. And eventually, I knew that chiropractic didn't turn into be my profession. It turned to be my passion, my calling. And I get very emotional because it shifted my entire business. I'm so passionate about this profession that those two over there that you can see right there means a lot to me. And it makes a big difference in what we do. And thanks to Didi, David Daniel Palmer, and Barlett, Joshua Palmer, we're here today. And if I was born again, I will do the same.
What you say is very passionate, and I know that you have a fire inside of you, because I can tell from the words that you share with us. And we're all kind of come from a status of we're confused with what we should be doing with our lives. And, I think hearing your story probably connects to a lot of chiropractors. I guess I want to turn the clock back a little bit further to ask you, how did you get to Wisconsin from Puerto Rico, number one? I'm very curious about that. And then I'm also curious about, were you ever adjusted before you went to chiropractic school?
Good question, James. Basically, I graduated from college, from high school, 1982. And I went to University of Puerto Rico in one of their campuses. It's called Bayamón. Bayamón is just, one of the towns. And my mom was always worried about my future. She always was, my mom was my mom and my dad, because my dad, they broke up when I was 12 years old. And she was always worried. She wanted me just to, be a person for the future that I can serve others. As she was a home economic teacher, and she always says the same thing as I'm telling you. I will be a home economic teacher if I will be back again into life. And I was, I remember those words so deeply. So basically, a friend of mine came to my home just one day, just to visit. His name is Francisco, and Francisco came and started talking to my mom, and he was going to that school. That was in a summer break. He was going to Carroll College, and she came. I was talking to him, and I don't know what happened. I think I went to a bathroom. My mom was a very smart woman. I mean, she always took those moments. You know how moms are. They have the moments that they can see things that you won't. So she started talking to Francisco and said, send him the papers for that school. Let him apply. Help him just go to that school. Let's get him out of Puerto Rico. And I'm like, I never resisted changes in that regard when I had to, move, because one of my hobbies is just to fly around. I love to fly. If I can live on an airplane, I'll be happy. No problem. So, I mean, she said, just start talking. And I remember my English at the time wasn't really good. Doesn't mean that it's good now, but now at least we can communicate. So at that moment, the woman, I remember her name, Shirley, I think it was her name. And she was talking to me, and I was speaking English, and I was not very fluent. And I think I'm thinking to myself, oh, this girl is not going to even just want to have me in Wisconsin. But for some reason, they accepted me, and I learned it very well. At least I went through school. I went through 2 schools in the States. And that's how I got into Wisconsin. I'm telling you, it was a challenge. I mean, Wisconsin's, I love people. They're really conservative. And when you go into a small town, they're even more conservative. And for some reason, I don't know why the school likes that much the people from the Caribbean, but a lot of students from Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John's were there. That to me I was kind of blown away, because at a very small school, they did very good in recruiting in Puerto Rico. They did. Totally did.
So I know that's
and I have to answer the other question. I will tell you, but just tell me that the one that I received the chiropractic adjustment. But
that was an evolution for you. But also, had you ever seen snow to that point?
Say it again?
Had you ever seen snow?
Oh, of course not. That was not a shock. That was fun. I could go play out. We could just throw, snowballs to each other, do snow angel, whatever you call that on the snow. Things that I never had in my life. So to me, it was like a new toy. And you can tell that I like to have fun. That's part of my life. If I don't have fun, I'm not here. Basically, so it's like a little kid having a new toy. I was like, we did wild stuff. I mean, it was 0 degree, and we will walk down, going to downtown, which it was really close, but with a shirt like this and then a coat on top of it. I mean, people that live on the cold know that you do layers. I have no idea. I mean, I'm telling you, I know I got frostbites on my ears, but because I didn't know, it didn't matter. It's wild.
You're a funny guy, man. So tell us the adjustment. When did that happen? When you first
something? I have no idea of chiropractic. The only thing I knew, Jim, I saw before I left to school in a TV program. Those TVs program that you bring like 3 panelists. One is a chiropractor and 2 are physiotherapists, and they're against each other. That kind of TV show. And I remember it was called Ojeda Sin Límite, which is Ojeda without limit. And this guy Ojeda, which is his last name, he was interviewing one medical doctor with a physiatrist, a specialist, and there were like 2 physical therapists and 3 chiropractors. And it was like a war. I felt like I was in a war zone. I mean, the medical doctor was really, relaxed. The physical therapist was, she was rampant. I mean, she was going nuts. And she was telling, yeah, but you're doing this. And the chiropractors were, you know something? We are doctors. You're not. At the time, the physiotherapists were not doctors. So she was really but not happy. And I'm like, am I going to go to this profession? No way. I had never had a chiropractic adjustment before. My first chiropractic adjustment was at my chiropractic school. That's it.
So can you tell us some of the mantras that you live by?
Yes. Serve. 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 And continually serve. And when you get tired, keep serving. That's it. I don't have any other thing. When Puerto Rico got struck by the hurricane, I was seeing one patient maybe a day for a couple of weeks. So I went to serve. Where? Everywhere in Puerto Rico. I will go to communities and adjust 300 people in one day. I mean, craziness. 500 people, 1,000 people. I wouldn't do by myself, but there were 1,000 people there in the middle of a baseball field. And we were putting in, tables there, boom, boom, boom. So that's my mantra. Serve people, serve, serve, serve. And when you get tired, serve even more.
I thought the first thing you said was surf. And I'm like, this guy loves to surf.
Yeah.
So,
you know something? I live in an island and I don't surf. But I serve my people very well. And
yeah, you sharing that with me and Luke, it's empowering because, sometimes we have challenging days, and it's, I think now more than ever, people have a lot more stress and their nervous system's under a lot more load from emotional, chemical, and physical stressors. And I know that chiropractic adjustments help relieve those stressors off of the physical body. And I used to have this mantra that I lived by when I'd have a bad day. Sometimes I forget these things. So that's why it's a good question for us to ask on these interviews, because my mantra used to be go forth and serve, go forth and serve, go forth and serve. And when I realized I was a servant, everything changed. Now I'm stuck in my head because of so much stress in the world that I forget that that's my mantra. So thank you for reminding me of that simple thing, because sometimes when we become so advanced with our emotional state and we don't really know how to, contain that, we become a different version of ourselves that we forgot what we're supposed to be doing.
The whole thing, when we serve, we put our focus instead of ourselves, we put it into others. And once that happens, your ego and all your me becomes we. So as Donnie, my teacher of life, and I really thank for Donnie Epstein of everything that I have learned, because he taught me chiropractic. What I haven't learned of chiropractic is what, I learned it from him. He used it instead of meme, he used wim. It's about we. Okay, it's one of the things he teaches, and I love that. I mean, the meme is me, wim is we me. It's a we thing. So I mean, the other thing is very important. One of the other mantra, and I don't want to just lock it into is have fun. Don't take life so serious. Have fun. Enjoy life. And it's the most you can do to laugh is this. Just that's okay. I'm okay with that. Just have fun, enjoy life. I mean, right now I'm going nuts. I've been doing 300 Facebook Live continuously for 300 days without stopping, no break in between.
You sound like me.
I know. I mean, I cannot be with you, but I'm talking. It's the live production of not interviewing people. I'm just doing a story. I'm getting a song that connects to the story, and then I put a message into that. Sometimes it takes me 4 hours to bring this into life. It's craziness. But my soul is asking me to do it.
Let's do a pattern interrupt. I know you dance on all of your videos. Do you have music? Do you have music you put on a dance? You dance on all of your videos.
I do.
Do you have music that you can put on and dance?
Of course.
Yeah, let's break the silence for a moment. And
let's do it. Why not? We got to hear it. Yeah.
Let's see the moves, brother. Love it, man.
Crazy.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, Chirothin, Chiro Moguls, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, The Goodman Factor, Chiropractic Rocks, Winner's Edge, Chiro Tax Pro, and Digital Hustle. Let's hustle.
So how do you think the world would change if everyone on the planet started getting adjusted?
This is my answer: silence. Because people will connect more to themselves and be more about the we than the me. So this whole concept about not serving others will be like part of you. I mean, why won't you not serve others? Right now, people serve themselves and they forget about others. So if chiropractic will connect, as Didi said, the man of the physical with the man of the spiritual, there's no way that you cannot be the we and the means of serving others for the sake of serving. There is this guy called Dewitt Jones. I don't know if you saw at one time. He made like a little documentary called Celebrating What is Right with the World. Dewitt Jones I don't know, I think he's still alive. He was like a freelancer for, oh my gosh, I forgot. Sometimes the name goes from me away, but it'll come to me. And he always will take pictures. And the picture, he always look behind the picture and he will take another picture from another spot and things will show up. Like he will go, this is a picture of this. Now I'll change this and look what happened. Poof. So he went to a village in Scotland or a place. And this woman liked to, it's the head. I'm just trying to think about the word. It'll come to me right now. Yeah, it'll come. But anyway, it's like when you're doing like, what's the word?
Knitting.
It's like knitting. Okay, let's put it that way.
Crochet.
And she's doing a pattern and she's working and he's connecting to her and he was asking her a question and she said, when you knit, what do you think about it? And he said, she said that she paused for a second and looked at his eyes and told him, when I knit, I knit. When I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm doing what I'm doing. And this is what I see chiropractic when people are really connecting. When they are really connected, it's about the we. It's about the whim. It's not about the meme. It's about the we thing. And that's my 10 cents.
So where do you see chiropractic going in the next 20 years?
It's a good question. I'm a little bit, to tell you the truth, I'm going to talk from my heart. I'm a little bit not worried. It's just a little bit concerned with what schools are teaching right now in chiropractic schools. From a Medipractic college and a very philosophical based chiropractor came through. But that doesn't happen in every college with every person. And I had the amazing gift of Donnie showing up in my life and telling me about the green books and allowing me just to see on other people's as well, and meeting Reggie Gold. And I mean, there's so many of the old chiropractors that I got, the Fred Barge, I mean, you name it, people from the old thing. I met personally Dr. Thompson in my school. There's people that I met that really I got that sense. And I'm concerned because I don't know if 20 years, if chiropractic really as a profession, it will stand by itself. I have no idea. And I'm not pessimistic. I'm very optimistic. It's just with what I'm seeing through the chiropractic model of teaching, we're moving more into medical model than really chiropractic model. So I would like to see it, and I will be, my optimistic side is we'll be rocking. The world will be a different world, and we'll keep just changing things. The realistic side, I don't know.
So let me ask you this. If you were the last chiropractor in the world, would the profession carry on?
Definitely. I mean, if I was the last one, of course, that's no question. Because I will make sure that I will leave a legacy of allowing things to flow. Remember, after I go, I leave the legacy. Some people, as it happened with the legacy they're bringing, they're putting things into the other side. And that's the things I have no control over.
Well, I think that's it, Jose, is we have to have every chiropractor with that mindset. I'm the last chiropractor on earth. Are we going to push forward into a better future with chiropractic, or are we going to be whatever happens because of the trend that's in the schools right now? So I think that we have to all consider the chiropractor is the last chiropractor on earth, because that's the responsibility that's going to take to push it on.
I have an emoji for you. It's a heart. You got it. You got it. And I'm telling you, the people that I recommend not having to say anything about their schools. I'm not about talking bad about things. I like to be really open and loving in the way I talk, not because I don't like to say the things straight through. It's just that's my nature. And I recommend everybody to Sherman. It doesn't mean, it's just I know philosophically it has an amazing base, scientifically as well, and the art of chiropractic. So I want you just to get the best of the best.
And, for me, that makes a lot of sense listening to you. The world doesn't matter what the climate is or how close it is to home. It matters what your foundation is. And you living in Puerto Rico, if the foundation of the house isn't strong, then it blows over. And that's something that we all have to know, is that the fundamentals of a team are built on the philosophy of the teachings. So the team that wins always has the best philosophy and the best foundation, the best fundamentals. So when you're talking about education, you had to actually go off of campus to learn the fundamentals and the foundation and the philosophy. So that's happening now more than ever within the education programs. And I've never gone to a chiropractic program, but I can just hear through, as we say here, we heard it through the grapevine, is an old saying. And what I hear through the grapevine is that the schools are slowly taking the philosophy and the tenets of the profession out of the schools. So the Medipractor movement is greater than ever right now. So yeah, I think you're right. Sherman definitely has a standalone position to grow into the epicenter of chiropractic as the go-to for philosophy, science, and art of the profession. And I don't say that to say anything negative towards other schools, because I don't know. But what I do know is what I hear through the grapevine is that if a chiropractic student wants to become the greatest, they have to have a good foundation with good fundamentals and good philosophy.
Yes. And, Not because he's Puerto Rican either, but I mean the president and all, even Dr. Cohen, the whole team is doing an amazing job of bringing light. And I want to be honest and open as well. Not everybody who goes to Sherman becomes a philosophically based chiropractor, because I have seen some of them that they don't. At least they have the base, and they will decide. Because I mean, I came from a medipractic chiropractic school, and look at me. So from something, another thing can come. Things can happen, and that's the way life goes.
It's not the seed, it's the soil.
You got it. You got it.
So what have you found to be some of your favorite ways to get new patients into your office?
Lately, it's been totally a different kind of concept. I mean, before I will do from community dinners or dinner with the dog. I mean, to do a spinal screening, every kind of stuff. Right now, I'm just like putting all my energy through Facebook and Instagram, and some part I'm starting just to get involved again. I used to be a little bit more aggressive in that part in YouTube. But that's where I'm putting all my efforts right now, because everyone is there right now. I mean, there is unfortunately that Facebook is getting a little bit more tied up with some of the way of doing things, but I mean, that's part of the process. I mean, we have to adapt to changes in every way. And they open the things while we were totally, contained in our pandemic, and they opened the algorithm a little bit. I think it was a lot. Now they're starting to close the things a little bit more, but that's part of life. We got to go around and just learn and learn and learn and learn. And so that's what I'm using right now. I'm just using more on this and doing some of my webinars that I do online, and then I announce myself and I get people there. My consultation is totally non-charge. I don't charge for consulting anybody. I mean, that to me, it may it's a service, because the person maybe doesn't want to be with me, doesn't connect with me, but at least knows me. And if I cannot serve them, I would love to send them to somebody else who can serve them.
Are you in the middle of any good books right now?
You know something? Right now, I got like 2 books just hanging up in my office, in my bedroom. But this is one of the ones that I love the most. It's from my good Donnie. It's called Healing Myth, Healing Magic. Within every myth, there is magic behind it. And we're so full of myth, and myth are just a story that you believe is true. You change the story, and the magic happens. So this is one of my favorite ones. I mean, this one I have read it like maybe 102 times. I have like 100 more to go. And basically, the other 2, I can't remember the names, but I have it over there. Obviously, I always read some of my favorite, the chiropractic textbook. Okay, just to keep me fresh in what I'm doing. I love upper cervical, even though I do network. Donnie was a master upper cervical, so I learned Grostic and Kale marking, X-ray marking. Every chiropractor in the world, they must know upper cervical. It's a must. I'm not saying you're bad because you don't do it or you haven't done it. It's just you must know it. I don't know if you have heard Tony Robbins say, if you can, then you must. If you cannot, then you must. I love that. I mean, if you can't, then you must.
I haven't heard that one.
You heard that? And then this subluxation specific, adjustment specific. It's a little bit thick. Just a little bit. And a very interesting reading. It's very complicated. PJ wasn't easy to follow, but I mean, I love it too. There's many books that I go through.
Do you have any favorite podcasts that you listen to?
You know something? Right now, I'm not listening any podcast. Just to tell you the truth, other than I follow, once in a while, I see what you got here in Cairo Hustle. Carlos Sayes is bringing some good stuff to in Spanish, so I follow him once in a while. There's a couple of things that I do in that regard, but just keeping it right there, no. I'm following one woman, which touched my soul. She's as crazy. She's crazier than I am. You know what I am, because I know myself. I'm crazy. I'm out of the box, and I do what I do the way I do. But I'm crazy with a focus. But she's even more crazier, and is this musician from Mexico. Her name is Flor Amargo, that she plays everywhere. She started on the subway, and now she's all over the place, and she has so many followers but she's nuts. She does things that I'm like, but I love it because I can see her through nature. She shows you through colors, and I'm about changing, expressing my true colors. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, you should send me a link to one of her songs after the interview.
Oh my gosh, you'll love her. I was watching one of her videos. She's in a towel, just going to the shower. I'm like, why would she do something like that? But I mean, that's who she is. She is that way. That's her nature, and that's why people follow her, because you can see the humility inside her. There is no recognition. She's just being the little kid playing. It touched my soul from a way that.
Well, I don't know if this has ever happened to me before, but I feel like the adjustment with you today adjusted me. Like this conversation gave me an adjustment.
You know something? I learned it through Donnie, and I give all the credit. And I'm going to tell you my main life way of, the way of that I live my life is the first principle of chiropractic. There is a universal intelligence in all matters that give continuously its properties and action, thus maintaining it in existence. If there is a universal intelligence, this is me, okay, this is alcohol. Inside is innate intelligence, outside is universal intelligence. There is a universal intelligence in all matter that continually keeps its properties and action, thus maintaining it in existence. It means that when I'm here with you and I'm really I'm connected with the field, which is what we call universal intelligence, you're getting it. And when I'm in training, adjusting one person here, I'm in training, adjusting the whole entire world. There is no way I'm thinking in one person. And that's why you're feeling it over there. That's why you're connecting with me. I'm connecting with you because we're not separated. The void is just something we don't see. Still, we're connected. And that one is through my dear teacher, Donnie Epstein, because I didn't get that. I learned it from him. And obviously, it's right there in the philosophy of chiropractic. The first principle is there.
So what are some of your hobbies and what do you do for fun?
Dance. Just fly around, have fun, call people, enjoy them, just listen to their crap, and them just do as Jim did, just like a pattern breaker. Make a faith, do something wild, and people go like, "What happened with you?" I don't know. I just received a message from one of my practice members yesterday. She said, "Thank you for what you told me." I can't remember what I told you because I said many things in one day. And I went afterwards. I remember it, and I went like, "Wow, oh, this is so amazing."
Well, I don't feel like I've ever laughed or smiled as much on an episode before. And you're episode 199. So there's definitely been some energy exchange on this episode. So I appreciate you sharing so openly and being such a voice of positivity and being able to share your depth of knowledge and how you got to where you are today in 28 years of service. And it's just such a beautiful story. And, we've done over 800 interviews in 3 years. And it's just so amazing to hear each chiropractor tell us what they feel and their narrative and the facts of who they are. And it's just really a powerful opportunity to connect with you today. And yeah, it's been as they say up here, it's been real, bro.
True color, through who I am, is the best I can just serve and be. And what else? I mean, thank you for what you're doing, Jim. And what is your name again?
Luke.
Look, yeah, okay. Sorry about that, but I told you that my names doesn't stick with me that often. But anyway, Jim.
I'm not a name person either.
Okay. Luke and Jim, I mean, thank you for what you guys are doing. I know this is a lot of work. There's a lot of hours of production. People have no idea. I learned it the hard way because I'm doing it right now. And you are doing it in a professional way with many things that I'm not doing. So I imagine it's a lot of more work. So I really, 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 from my heart, thank you. I mean, what you're doing is, I have seen you in many of the seminars. For some reason, we haven't really connected. Life is that way. Right now was the moment to do it. And, thank you for inviting me. I mean, I feel so humble and so touched. I have no other words to tell you the truth. Thank you.
You're wonderful.
So what are some websites people can go to if they want to learn more about you?
You know something? Watch me. You don't need anything else. Just laugh at life. Have fun. Enjoy it. I talk about something Funtitude. You can just see me, and I send you the links. But I mean, I have a page called Funtitude in Instagram. I have it in Facebook. I have it too in YouTube. And basically, have fun. Connect to that altitude. Connect to whatever is God to you. I mean, that energy, that bigger source, whatever the source is for you. And if you don't believe in a source, great. That you don't believe and you say does not exist, that's your source. Connect to that source. And this doesn't mean you're not connected. You're never disconnected. You just have the sense of disconnection. It's a different story. So change the story and bring the connection. And have the attitude that no matter what the hell happens, things are going to be okay. I'm telling you, Puerto Rico is not an exception. But I mean, 2017, Hurricane Irma got part of that. Hurricane Maria destroyed us. I mean, they said it was category 4. No way. It was category 5 within itself a lot of tornadoes. It destroyed Puerto Rico. I never seen a house with a cement roof that it got, really pull out. Never seen that in my life. I mean, wood houses, yes, but cement houses, no. And I saw that. In top of that, we got earthquakes started 219, and then it came to 220 because I think January 7 started another one. It was 7 point whatever. We went to the southern part just to help people. I mean, the island is small, but it takes me 2 hours just to go from one end to the other. And then on top of that, now COVID. And then, I mean, all the crap that people, something, tomorrow is another day. The sun is going to come out regardless of what you think or what you don't think. Fun, altitude, and attitude. Funtitude. And bring the soul into it, because people talk about mindset, which I love. And Danny asked, he added heart set. I said before that, you have to have a soul set. Your soul have to have the calling to bring it into the heart. So you have a heart set, and that will bring it into the mind, which is not, this is not the mind, but this is another conversation. And when that is all together, now you can go forward. Because no matter what comes, you're like, okay, let's do it. And you have I'll cry. I'll go nuts at the moment. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm always in funtitude mode. Of course not. I'm human. I get pissed and I, get angry and I say, God, why you did this? And I'm pissed at you. You know something? Yes, I am human. I am the perfect imperfection, and I will continue to be. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being our guest today. I look forward to one day visiting Puerto Rico and seeing how you take care of people at your practice. And it's such a blessing to connect with you. And I'm glad that you could make Luke and I smile so much today.
I love that one. I know that it was hard to get him to smile, but he was smiling.
Well, all right, Dr. Jose, we want you to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for the invitation. Enjoy it. Love you both. Keep rocking. I love what you guys are doing.
Talk to you soon.
Celebration. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.